今日我哋繼續去旅行，繼續慶合合。上集講到當自己一匹馬嘅著名奧運女選手 Susie 同老公去咗拉斯維加斯。Susie 變得好 juicy， 竟然提議搞 3P， 咁究竟成唔成事？奧運 Susie 跟住又點解會變咗應召 Kelly？ 跟住又點俾人發現，搞到全世界都知？唔好講咁多啦喂，打鐵趁熱正式開始，不可思議。
All right, on your mark, get set, go.
So we decided, well, why don't we try a threesome?
A threesome?
Yeah, it was something we had talked about.
Forgive me, but that's not on most people's bucket list.
It was more me than him.
Caught me off guard.
Was any part of you shocked?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Two things I never thought we would do, quite frankly.
為咗拯救佢哋嘅婚姻咧，佢老公話乜都會為佢做嘅，真係難為你啦，Mark哥。
So you're in the hotel room and there's a knock on the door.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind?
I was scared to death.
Really?
Yeah.
哇！呢個位啊笑死我，你睇下主持人幾唔相信個笑容。Really?
Really?
Yeah. Just nervous as all get up.
She comes in, looks like the girl next door. And it was a fun, great experience.
You had only in your whole life sexually been with your husband.
Absolutely.
What was it like to have this other woman and this hour in bed with the three of you?
I kind of felt like, why isn't everybody else doing this? Why isn't everybody living life to the fullest?
喺度講明啦，佢講啲嘢咧係 very disturbing 嘅，會令人不安咁，大家要小心啊！好啦，咁佢哋充實完一晚之後咧，就翻屋企啦。佢老公啊當係掛癮咁啊算啦。點知佢老婆上咗癮噃，個人囉囉攣走身唔聚財。雖然個人喺 Wisconsin， 不過心仲喺 Las Vegas 喎。跟住忍唔住同佢老公講：唔得，我一定要再去拉斯維加斯。不過今次我一個人去，益自己唔益佢。
She's gonna do what she's gonna do to an extent. I don't think I had a heck of a lot to say, but at least she's not cheating on me.
個老公咁抵得諗，真係唔知喺邊度揾。不過佢仲想出去滾。
So you arranged to see a male escort?
Yes. It ended up being the most fabulous experience. I had never had sex with another man besides my husband. I remember telling him, "You're the second guy I've ever had sex with." And he said, "Oh my gosh, what a waste. You need to do this more." And I was hooked. I was hooked.
從此拉斯維加斯已經成為咗佢嘅毒品，就係因為上咗癮，得閒要走去過下癮，得閒要走去滾一滾。
At some point, you pick up a man in a bar and have sex and realize, I don't have to pay for sex.
Right.
How do you then make the jump to, I will get paid for sex?
That was that light bulb moment in my head. Wow, well, why shouldn't I get paid for sex? This guy does, the escort. This would be fun.
都話咗佢講嘢語出驚人，小心嚇親。
Why shouldn't I get paid for sex? This would be fun.
Did you run this by Mark?
I had talked to him, and all he thinks is she wants to just sample this. She'll do it once, she'll be done.
She would try to calm my fears. Mark, this is safe. Mark, you have no idea.
阿 Mark 啊，你有啲嘢真係唔知道啊！唔該你唔好不斷重複嗌自己嘅名啦。你唔知道喺亞洲啊，阿 Mark 啊係代表 Mark 哥啊，英雄本色啊！你呢個阿 Mark 咧，莫講話英雄啊，連最基本嘅男人本色都冇啊！竟然俾個老婆賣肉賣色，由佢揾食揾性刺激。
She would try to calm my fears. Mark, this is safe. Mark, you have no idea. I have this completely under control. These are wealthy, well-to-do, well-known people. Nothing's going to happen.
Mark, I don't know how anybody can understand how you didn't get up and say, I'm leaving you. This is crazy.
Yeah.
哇！大家都想問呢條問題啊！你點忍得㗎？你係咪黐線㗎？
Sometimes I wonder that too, to be perfectly honest. It's what I did though. I tuned out. You live your life, I live my life.
就因為老公隻眼開隻眼閉，呢個老婆阿媽兼3屆奧運選手，忍唔住手打咗俾呢個好巴閉嘅老細。佢擁有一個好成功嘅伴遊 website。
She had called me and said, she wanted to try escorting. And I knew she had a husband. She kept insisting, no, he's fine with it.
So very quickly you begin working under the pseudonym of Kelly Lundy.
Yes.
就係咁，奧運 Susie 就變咗應召 Kelly 喺網上擺啲咁嘅 pose， 見到啲咁誘人嘅姿勢，就算600蚊一個鐘都有人制，飛車去飛嘅剎唔到掣，停唔到副偈。佢老公就冇晒計，唯有企喺側邊睇。
On her very first gig, working as a paid escort, you're there, watching her get dressed and get ready.
Correct, yeah. I know what she's doing. It bothers me. I've raised my objections. She's going to do it anyway.
呢個故事最不可思議就係接下客嘅 Kelly， 同一時間又可以換翻件衫變翻阿 Susie， 代表奧運選手出現喺籌款活動。日頭着住波鞋做阿 Susie 嘅宣傳活動，夜晚換對高踭鞋做阿 Kelly 嘅夜間活動。
One day I had run a half marathon in the morning in a different state, hopped on an airplane, got to Vegas, had 5 appointments.
When you say 5 appointments, you mean 5...
5 different clients I saw
You
that
slept
day,
with 5 different men.
That day. Still after the 5 appointments, endless energy, couldn't sleep.
瞓唔着咁咪應多啲短信咯，喺短信入邊就係得個房間 number 同個時間，跟住佢就應召噶啦。
We brought Susie to Las Vegas where she showed us her secret world.
First thing you would do is come into the bathroom?
Yes, and right over here would be the envelope with $100.
Just
with the
by the
hundreds.
sink?
Yep, I would open the envelope and thumb through the hundreds, and it was like this magical, powerful force. It just kind of propelled me.
The hypersexuality is what led you to not only get dressed up, knock on these men's doors, go into a room by yourself with them,
Right.
but then to almost immediately disrobe, take
Right.
off your dress,
Absolutely.
and be the aggressor
Right,
sexually.
right.
I feel scared for you. I feel worried for your safety.
Absolutely. The danger. I mean, I could have easily been killed. Easily. Susie would never have gone in that room. Never in a million years. But when you become a different person, this other person wanted that risk.
Why do you talk about your behavior then like you're talking about a different person in the third person?
Because Kelly was a different person.
話佢而家玩緊精神分裂啊！不過分裂得嚟呢，阿 Susie 以前嗰個好勝心又出返嚟喎。當佢發現咗有個應召女郎嘅評分同埋排名網，佢又想跑第一啊！
She fixates on becoming number 1.
I became obsessed with that ranking. How do I get to the top?
想排第一呢，梗係要搞自己個造型啦。上一集講咗咧，佢做跑手嗰陣時已經好注重佢自己嘅外形，而家轉咗型咧，更加要注重自己嘅外形啦。頭髮越嚟越金，條棍越嚟越短，眼有毛越嚟越長，咁先至似樣噶嘛。咁喺屋企嘅老公又點樣啊？老公係做咗單親爸爸，要湊女，開始火起噃。
She was impossible to deal with. And after a while, when it got to a certain point, after months of this, I was like, go. Get out of the house. Let Kylie and I have our normal life.
Are you surprised he didn't leave you?
Yeah, extremely at many times. But what he's told me is he kept remembering who I used to be, the wife that I was, the mom.
I stand up, I can jump like this.
由彈床上邊跳，變咗喺睡床上邊，每日淨係掛住性，搞到自己冇記性，漏咗嘢喺人哋間房，仲同客人講，其實我同 Susie Hamilton 係同一個人。
Weren't you worried someone was going to recognize you and figure out that you were Susie Faber Hamilton?
I was completely delusional.
I'm saying you're crazy. I'm saying it's your funeral. Do you understand the risk? I'm saying all this stuff.
佢老公講嘢梗係當佢死嘅啦，因為佢覺得佢自己點都唔會死噶嘛。
I wanted my independence. Since I'd been an athlete, I was so coachable. Everybody always told me what to do.
Everything had been planned your entire day, your entire life.
I was free now.
Whatever it took, whatever risk, I was going to do it.
鬼婆你梗係冇聽過一個說話叫做狗到必輸啊，咁所以你咪衰咗咯，以後唔使出街咯 ，and you want to die 添咯。
I wanted to just die at that moment because I knew my life was probably over.
緊張咧，好想知佢點樣玩完呢。不過廣告時間，聽下客戶嘅說話。發夢啦，我哋咁少人訂閱，邊度會有客戶嘅說話？點及得佢啊？兩邊都咁多客戶啊。In Las Vegas 喺 Thanksgiving 嘅時候，Susie 同埋佢女 Kylie 同埋佢老公阿 Mark 去咗拉斯維加斯，點知就出晒事，竟然喺感恩節出事。
I was working for the Rock and Roll Marathon, and I was doing an appearance on stage, kind of motivating the crowd and getting them psyched up for the race.
當日同個女一齊嘅呢一個阿媽，為咗刺激觀眾，突然間跳咗上台，然之後跳啲好激嘅舞，仲激過屯門大媽。
Dancing and yelling and just being crazy. And people were walking by, staring at me going, wow, there's something wrong with that woman.
It absolutely flabbergasted me what I saw. It was like, what on earth?
Were you embarrassed?
I was embarrassed, and I took Kylie out of there.
不過阿 Susie 就一場接一場啦，離開咗現場之後，即刻上酒店房，繼續佢下半場嘅搖滾馬拉松。今日一定唔可以欺場啊！今日要搞得更加激，因為佢網上嘅評分呢，就已經去到第2位。我好犀利啊！我又贏啦！今晚之後我仲第1位。不過
I'm waiting for the elevator, and I hear this man go, hey, Susie. And I'm like, oh, it's just another runner, and maybe they want an autograph. But then I turned to look at him, and he didn't look like a runner.
梗係唔似跑手啦，一睇已經知佢成個私家偵探咁樣啦，仲要係美國最中意爆料嘅呢個 website Smoking Gun 入邊嘅老細。佢話佢同佢啲客傾過偈，仲有埋佢接客嘅日期、資料詳細。當然梗係仲有睇佢呢個伴遊 website。知佢大獲好評，就嚟第1名。呢鋪真係大獲全勝，冇得唔認，一鋪清袋。
I about wanted to just die at that moment because I knew my life was probably over.
Susie 今次係輸清袋啊，不過佢老公啊攞翻個彩啊，不過咁樣嚟攞彩啊，真係戥佢唔好彩啦。
I've been saying for months, this will happen. I even said somebody's going to show up at one of these events.
What did you say to Kylie at that point?
I told her there's something wrong with your mom. That's not your mom. You know that's not your mom. She's a good person. We're going to figure this out eventually.
Did it scare her?
A little bit. Yeah, I'd done a really good job. Sorry.
You've done a good job protecting Susie.
Her. Protecting Kylie from seeing that. But she saw that.
And she knew.
She knew something was wrong.
咩不對勁啫？份嘢出咗都唔知幾勁幾大反應啊
Susie Favor-Hamilton.
Susie Favor-Hamilton. She's been leading a double life.
Madison track athlete Susie Favor-Hamilton.
Susie Favor-Hamilton was working as a high-priced Las Vegas escort.
One of the strangest stories that we have seen.
This is unbelievable that my life went from the all-American girl to the whore overnight like that.
I saw a headline online and I clicked on it and I just could not believe what I was reading.
佢爸爸咧叫佢最好離開美國，最好改埋名添啊！真係累全家。
I honestly felt at that time we weren't going to be together much longer.
That you were going to be divorced.
We were going to be divorced. It was just a matter of time.
佢都係車下啫，已經太遲啦，係人都知你老婆係 Susie， 仲有大把人知道你電郵俾人轟炸添啊！
The first day, Mark got 600 emails. And
what were people saying?
Your wife's a slut, your wife's a whore, you need to leave her. It said, you need to kill yourself like your brother did.
哇！啲人咁講咧，佢老公梗係驚佢老婆會自殺啦。咁啊，所以帶佢睇精神科醫生。醫生發現咧，佢都有呢個躁狂抑鬱症，即係情緒兩極症。有一種病嘅人咧，一日嘅心情咧可以變化好大嘅，直情可以變到兩個人咁嘅。而佢細佬咧都係同佢同一樣 bipolar。呢個病咧令到人咧一日咧好似過山車咁樣，有陣時咧高漲嗰陣時咧就去到呢個躁狂嗰位咧，跟住落翻嚟咧就變咗係抑鬱個位啦，即係 Susie。不過一躁狂起嚟咧就變咗阿 Kelly， 變咗好狂嘢噃。
All the
suddenly make
pieces
sense.
start falling into
They
place
start
for you.
making more sense.
Were you surprised to find out that you were bipolar?
Completely shocked.
Why? Your brother had suffered from it.
I wasn't educated on this illness. It wasn't talked about in our family.
嚇你細佬因為咁樣自殺死咗，你哋屋企竟然冇講過？我諗佢又係食咗藥啊，因為佢醫生解釋咗咧，佢咁嘅情形咧係因為佢食錯藥啊，食錯抗抑鬱藥啊。
You give them an antidepressant and it lifts their mood, it can push their mood too high. We often see symptoms such as hypersexuality, spending lots of money, engaging in lots of reckless kinds of behaviors because people generally aren't in the state of mind to think through ahead to the consequences of those kinds of behaviors.
哇！食咗一啲唔啱自己嘅抗抑鬱藥咧，會令到行為變得好唔正常㗎喎。原來阿 Susie 咧，因為藥物影響，令到佢情緒同埋性慾高漲，性慾過強。咁呢一隻藥咪即係等於
淫賤不能移。
I would never have become an escort if I wasn't on the drug that made me hypersexual.
淫賤不能移啊！好，
好在咋，好在我上集咧嘟咗佢食呢隻藥嘅藥名啊，佢終於揾到一隻咧，佢覺得有效嘅。
It did not take long for to make me feel really good.
哇！如果唔係咧，我哋爭啲會變成咁啊！
好似有啲料到咁啊！喂，我哋控制下自己好啊！得噶，我想嘴啖你。喂，咩嘴咩？嘴你老豆，打爆你，打死啊！我嘴啖啊！我想嘴啖你啊！果然厲害。
阿星爺，你啲有幾厲害啊？穿咗2個窿啫，佢嗰隻藥佢嗰隻藥厲害啲喎，變咗2個人喎。
So Kelly doesn't exist anymore. She's gone. She can't come back.
返來啦！你啲衫仲喺度啊，喺樹啊。
So, Vegas bag.
This is where I have all my Kelly things.
This bag is $2,000.
$2,000.
It was a gift?
It's a gift, yeah.
Wow. This is a dress? How
To
high did
meet
this
the
come
girls.
on you?
This came, let's see, very short.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's interesting that I kept the stuff. It reminds me of this Kelly and the sex and all the crazy things she did.
Wow.
And that is to get to a point where you don't feel shame.
Does some part of you inside still feel that shame?
I don't feel 1 ounce of shame. I do not feel shame. I refuse to let the act ruin me. I have lots of pain from it. Lots of pain, and that's normal. I'll always have pain from it. But I know it wasn't Susie. I keep trying to emphasize that wasn't me. It was the disease.
唉，如果佢真係有病咧，就真係好可憐嘅。不過如果唔係真嘅咧，就真係幾可悲嘅。不過無論點都好啦，佢要行呢一條路咧，講到尾一個咁優秀同埋咁靚女嘅運動員，揀呢條路真係好可惜，同埋真係好不可思議嘅。